Good afternoon. We're back with more Marvel Champions, and today we'll be doing a second hero spotlight for Star-Lord. I already did one hero spotlight, but as my experience with the game grows and as my experience with the leadership aspect grows, I have found an even better leadership deck for Star-Lord, and so we're going to update his hero spotlight with this part 2. Because with this deck, he is now able to beat additional quests on Heroic 1 and Expert difficulty, and this warrants updating his hero spotlight so that we have a more complete picture of what Star-Lord is capable of. In short, I won't bury the lead, he is capable of even more than I thought he was. In fact, he's going to be a contender for best hero, or at least one of the best heroes in the game. So we'll dive into the games. We're going to start out with Brotherhood of Badoon, Drang on Heroic 1 difficulty. First, let's take a look at the deck and some of the changes to the deck. The changes are not that extreme in terms of the number of cards changed, but it makes a big difference in the overall playability and strength of the deck. As I've talked about in recent videos, I've come more and more to the view that the main goal of Aspect and Basic cards is simply to cycle themselves so that you get to play your hero cards more often, which are typically more powerful. And that's kind of the best case scenario for the Aspect and Basic cards, is not to use them for any particular tool or for any particular purpose except to cycle themselves. So, changes from the new deck. From the old deck to the new deck. Here is the deck we used in the first hero spotlight. We had 11 allies, 11 events, 6 resources, 9 upgrades. So in the new deck we've swapped out 1 rapid response. We've swapped in regroup times 3. We've swapped out Drax and swapped out Groot. And we're down to 10 allies now. Was Groot in the old one? Yeah, Groot was in the old one. So we swapped out Groot, we swapped out Drax, and we swapped in Captain Marvel. And then we also have Strength in Numbers and removed Innovation. Strength in Numbers and Regroup are both resource generators. Regroup, I've come to the conclusion that in Heroic 1, Regroup is an elite card. And I initially overlooked this card when I was doing my hero review. When an ally is defeated by an enemy attack, return it to its owner's hand instead of discarding it. It is a support card, so you can use that interrupt repeatedly, and then when the round ends, discard this card, which means all allies defeated by an enemy attack for the boss's phase get returned to your hand. And in Heroic 1, that's often, very often, 2 or even 3 allies, which can all come back to your hand. Makes a huge difference. Strength in Numbers is there simply to cycle itself. More often than not, we're only using it to draw 1 card, but that's fine. It's a 0 cost, draw 1 card. That is good for a Basic or Aspect card when we're just looking for those cards to cycle themselves. And then Assess the Situation is similar. You get +1 hand size until the end of the phase. Simply cycles itself and allows for a big turn the next turn. So let's dive into the games and we'll see what the deck can do. Here we go with Star-Lord versus Drang, Brotherhood of Badoon on Heroic 1. This is the first scenario from the Galaxy's Most Wanted expansion. And this hand looks okay. So I dump 2 cards and get 2 welcome aboards with only 1 hero with only 1 ally in hand. That's not great. Do get to go find it. We can only play 1 welcome aboard per round anyway. So we'll use the welcome aboard and assess the situation to grab Gamora, do 2 damage, and we discard until we find an event with Gamora. Daring Escape, probably not going to get used. So we'll flip to hero form, get out the element gun, and I'm thinking about which card I want to throw away to fire the element gun. and then we'll just deal some damage and draw 4. So we got 2 threat incoming, 1 charge, and Drang is going to attack, which brings a Badoon Grunt into play, which deals me a face down encounter card because of the Badoon Grunt's forced response. And then I take 4 damage from the attack. So we got 3 encounter cards incoming. We got a side quest, we got a Badoon Engineer, which adds a charge to the Badoon ship, and we got a bombardment. So that's pretty rough. We'll get out Star-Lord's helmet. Get out. Now I'm reconsidering about paying for White Tiger with Maria Hill and the strength. I'm thinking I should use Star-Lord's discount here. This is an interesting point because the biggest thing about learning to play Star-Lord, when do you use his discount and when do you not? I don't believe that the only time you should use his discount is when you have a way to take advantage of it, like with Sliding Shot or his threat removal card, or though that is not a terrible guideline to use. If you don't have Star-Lord's helmet, you don't have Sliding Shot, unless it's an emergency, never using his discount is not a bad plan. In this case, I do have a way to take advantage of the discount because I have Star-Lord's helmet on the table, so that makes the decision easier, and that's why I reconsidered playing White Tiger using the discount instead of using Strength and Maria Hill to pay for it. Also, I have a good way to use those cards. I can use Strength to play Maria Hill, and then I can use the card, one of the cards drawn, to fire the element gun. So the card I draw is Daring Escape, which probably is not going to get used here, though it could. So we're going to take out the Badoon Grunt and discard until we find an event. Probably not going to be able to use Strength in Numbers here. Use Maria Hill and White Tiger to take out the Oppressive Armada. Use the Milano to take out the other side quest. And then we can fire the element gun to deal with the Badoon Engineer. So that's everything. Use Star-Lord to deal 2 damage. You could make a case for doing 2 threat reduction here as well. And then get out Rapid Response. So that ended up being a pretty good turn. And Drang is just going to attack one of the allies. Typically the goal with this deck is to OTK the boss's phase 3. Get him down into phase 2, get set up with some allies on the table, and hopefully a larger hand size with Star-Lord's helmet, or with a larger hand size with Assess the Situation, and then OTK the phase 3 of the boss. That is the goal. So we got a lot on the table against this here. But also a lot of options. Using Star-Lord's discount on a Rapid Response to grab Beast, and we'll grab a resource card with Beast. Get out Bad Boy. Definite risk of dying, so that could end up being an important card. Fire the element gun at one of the grunts. Take care of the other grunt. Milano for 3 threat reduction. And Star-Lord probably just take out the assassin. And then probably we'll look to kill the boss next round. Holding a Sliding Shot. There's a second Sliding Shot. We got Daring Escape. I think all we need to do is survive this turn and we'll win. So the Badoon ship goes off. And thinking about using Rapid Response to bring Gamora back here, which I'm going to do because I don't think there's going to be another spot. since I don't expect the game to last longer than another turn. All I need to do is survive these encounter cards, really. Badoon Sentry, that's just fine. So now it's simply a matter of figuring out how to do the 5 and then how to do the, I think it's 18 on the phase 3. So that puts Drang into phase 3. Discard to find an event with Kimura's attack, and then we have to discard 4 from the top of the deck thanks to Drang's when revealed. And each minion that comes in that way is going to be, each minion discarded will be put into play. So we got 2, a Warlord. As long as we don't get anything with guard, it's fine. And then add a charge for the Engineer. Now it's simply a matter of figuring out how to do the 18 damage, but with a Daring Escape, a sliding shot in hand, it really shouldn't be a problem. So Daring Escape adds an encounter card, cycling through the deck adds an encounter card. Use Star-Lord's discount for 11, and then another sliding shot would be just fine. And that will end the game. Could also do it with Rocket Raccoon or Captain Marvel. So that's Brotherhood of Badoon, Drang on Expert difficult or on Heroic 1 difficulty. Star-Lord ends that one in relatively short order. That's typical strategy for a Star-Lord deck. You're just trying to get set up in phase 1 or stage 2 of the boss, and then OTK stage 3 or down it in 2 turns. And Star-Lord is very good at that. He's very, very strong. Let's move on to the next scenario, which is going to be Taskmaster on Heroic 1 difficulty. Here we go with Taskmaster on Heroic 1 difficulty. I would say a small step up in difficulty from Brotherhood of Badoon, though they are pretty comparable on Heroic 1 difficulty. And once you get into the able to do Taskmaster on Heroic 1 difficulty level, where you've defeated Rhino, Absorbing Man, Crossbones, Drang, Taskmaster, now we start talking about being able to do Ronan the Accuser on Expert difficulty. And if you can do Ronan the Accuser on Expert difficulty, then you're starting to talk about a hero or think about a hero that can actually beat all of the content on Expert difficulty in the game. And those heroes are rare. There are very few heroes that can do that. Spider-Ham is one, and it could be discovered another, and we'll see. So we got some damage early on because Taskmaster, when you flip to hero form, he has a forced response of you discard a card and take damage for the boost icons on there. And then he also has a when reveal, deal an encounter card, so that's where that came from. We get rid of the Hydra Patrol, and we have to go find a Hydra Regular. And we're going to get out Nova Prime, and that will deal with the Hydra Regular. We're using Star-Lord's discount to do that, so that's where the second encounter card came from. Leader of the Guardians is a card that I really liked in my card review, but in practice I find I nearly never use it because it's really hard to get enough value out of it. The quest has to be really, really thwart focused to make that card worth it because it costs 3, that's a lot, especially since you don't get much for it right away. Probably a better card in multiplayer than it is in solo. Anyway, Taskmaster gets an attack, and then we got 4 encounter cards coming. We've got a Combat Knife, a Master Plan, 3 sliding shots in the hand this early in the deck is definitely not ideal. That's pretty bad. We want those later, and we'd probably only like 2 of them really. Photographic Reflexes, a defensive card for the boss, so the boss is getting set up faster than we are. And each player in hero form takes a damage and does a random discard. Sliding shot, not surprising, that's over half of the hand. So at 2 health and not much setup, this is not looking like a good attempt. And I'm thwarting here off of the main quest because I'm thinking about flipping to Alter Ego. And I'd like to have as good a chance as possible of surviving. So I'm going to keep 2 sliding shots. I use Assess the Situation for +1 hand size. That's why I got 7 cards. And he's going to thwart, which is going to put it up to 6 thwart on the main quest. Concussion Grenade, you're confused and place 1 threat. And a Hydra Hunter. So we'll heal. Never ideal when you're healing with a hero for 3 recovery. It's not a good sign. We do have a large hand though, so we'll see what we can do. It's not totally out of the question winning the game this round, but with the photo, I think it'd be really tough. It'd be really, really tough. You need like perfect circumstances. Even then, I'm not sure it's possible. So I play Captain Marvel, I get 3 damage, though I need to use a... Well, I use it to take out the minion, so I need to get rid of the Photographic Reflexes. Gonna Daring Escape to ready up, and then I'll use Star-Lord's basic attack to take out the Photographic Reflexes, which is going to deal 2 damage to me. Initially I thought, oh, I'll just go all out, but then I remembered, oh yeah, first I got to take out the Photographic Reflexes. So resetting, use Star-Lord for that, so 2 damage, reflected back, and now we can do some damage. Probably want to get Rapid Response out for Nova Prime here. Oh, now I'm going to Sliding Shot. Push Taskmaster into phase 3. I'm not sure I played this turn very well. Did I ever use Star-Lord's discount? It may have been possible to win if I'd used... But if I'd used Star-Lord's discount and played a Sliding Shot, I wouldn't have had the resources for the second Sliding Shot. So, I don't know. Probably it wasn't possible to win, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I may have not played that attempt very well. And here, that ends the attempt because the advance is going to do at least 3 scheme. So we'll get set up and we'll try it again. Not a very good draw that time with the 3 sliding shots all in the same hand. So I'm reasonably confident at this point that Star-Lord can do this. So we'll start out with Welcome Aboard and assess the situation for White Tiger. Actually can't use 2 Welcome Aboards in the same round. So here we go with Star-Lord versus Taskmaster on Heroic 1 difficulty. Once we get past Taskmaster on Heroic 1, then we're starting to think about, okay, is this a hero that can take on Ronan the Accuser on Expert difficulty? And if you can take on Ronan the Accuser on Expert difficulty, then you're probably looking at a hero that can take on any scenario in the game on Expert difficulty, can actually do all of the content. And that's rare. There are not a lot of heroes that can do that. Not a lot of decks that can do that. Only a small handful. So let's see how Taskmaster goes. That hand looks fine. We'll discard the element gun, draw a card, and then we'll use Star-Lord's setup to bring the element gun back. And we'll go ahead and I think I'm going to use Star-Lord's discount for White Tiger here. Also one encounter card from Star-Lord, or from the When Revealed. And we need to do the forced response, discard a card, and take damage for the boost icons. But we do get to draw 2 cards with White Tiger. I could put Taskmaster into phase 3 here. But I don't know if that's a very good play because I'd be facing a lot of encounter cards. Now, could I put Taskmaster into phase 3? I'm actually not sure. Let's get rid of Hydra Patrol. Grab a Hydra Regular. Go 1, 2, 3 for Gamora. Just Gamora, and we'll go look for an event. Discard until we find one. Three for the element gun, and we'll fire it. Not sure I like that play. Given that I have so many encounter cards coming, I think what I want to do is wait, do I have too many cards in hand now? Okay, Raccoon assess the situation during escape. Gamora. Then I used Regroup, Welcome Aboard, and Gutsy Move. Let's pay for the element gun. I didn't have Welcome Aboard in hand. No, this is correct because I drew Welcome Aboard with Gamora. So do I want to play, I think I want to play Regroup here. That means not playing the element gun though. And that's clunky, that's really clunky, so I think I'm gonna have to do it. Fire the element gun, use Star-Lord, and then we'll draw 5. Okay, and then we'll go 1 threat, 1 extra threat for the forced response, 1 attack from Taskmaster on White Tiger, 2 encounter cards since we're on Heroic 1 difficulty. So we got a weapon, Hydra Regular with Insight 1, Hydra Soldier, and Mimicry. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck. If an attack card was discarded, Taskmaster attacks you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No attack cards. So we can go 1, 2, and discard to find an event. Daring Escape. We can go 1, 2, and get rid of that Hydra Soldier, which deals an encounter card. 1, 2, 3 for element gun number 2. One, 2 for 6 damage. Something like that. So 2 threat, 1 attack from Taskmaster. 2 encounter cards. We've got Exhaustion, Gang Up, 6 damage. That's rough. Shadow of the Past. That's rough because Mr. Knife is a very tough nemesis because of that surge he gives to the treachery and because of the side scheme encounter card. Hydra Soldiers. So we're getting bogged down here. This doesn't look good. We can go Star-Lord discount and welcome aboard for Captain Marvel. There's 4 lightning resources, so we can deal 3 damage and then add a stun, which is very strong. And then deal 3 damage to Mr. Knife. We'll go Kalu and look at the top 5 for an event. Sliding Shot, and we'll use that. And Kalu deals another encounter card. This does not look like a win. So let's go 2 threat. We've got no attack. 5 encounter cards total. Captured by Hydra. It's going to be an ally. Assault. So that will go on Kalu. Weapon Master. That will have to go on Captain Marvel or I'm going to die. Wanted to rapid response here. Whoops. Wrong card. We got another encounter card because the Weapon Master surges. Hydra Hunter. Discard 1 card, take 1 damage, and that'll end this attempt. So let's get reset. Let's try again. Here we go. So we owe 1 encounter card. We get the element gun. Star-Lord's helmet to start the game is very good. We'll go welcome aboard, leader, sliding shot for beast, and grab a resource card. We'll go strength for Ironheart and draw a card. Regroup. Gonna use Star-Lord's alter ego action. Swap regroup with the top card of my deck. And the reason I did that is because I don't want to throw away regroup. I want to draw it next round. And then I'm going to use the resource card to pay for Star-Lord's helmet. We'll just leave the element gun there. We'll flip. We'll go Hydra Patrol, which brings a Hydra regular in. And it's just going to go straight to the discard pile because we're going to attack it with Beast. And then we'll do 1 damage. And we get to draw 5, 1 extra for Star-Lord's helmet. So 1 threat, 1 extra threat. Actually, I forgot to discard a card with the forced response and take damage. That's 2 damage. And then we have an attack from Taskmaster, which will go on Ironheart. And 2 encounter cards, so 3 total. We've got a Hydra Soldier. We've got Banishment. So we'll exhaust. And we've got Captured by Hydra, which is going to bring in a captured ally. So we can go ahead and flip back. I could have played Element Gun last turn using Star-Lord's discount, and maybe I should have. I'm gonna use Star-Lord's discount this round and play Gamora, and we'll attack with Gamora for 2 and discard until we find an event. Welcome aboard, not gonna be really useful here. It's the second encounter card. And this seems like a good spot to sliding shot. But then I won't be able to regroup unless I spend the element gun, because I don't have the element gun out, so I can't actually sliding shot. So let's just play the element gun and then regroup. And then we can draw 5 plus 2 for Star-Lord's helmet. Two threat, plus 1 threat for the forced response. 1 attack by Taskmaster on Beast. It's going to bring Beast back to hand thanks to regroup. 2 more encounter cards. So we got Concussion Grenade. You are stunned, deal 1 damage to your hero. The Villain Schemes for 1, 2, 3. The villain attacks you. That's going to go on Gamora. Comes back to hand with the rapid response. And then we got Taskmaster's Shield. Gives him retaliate. So we'll want to get rid of that with a Science and Strength resource. Rapid response is done. We'll go Science, Strength, and get rid of the shield. Get rid of the stun on Star-Lord. Go 1, 2 for Maria Hill and draw a card. Actually, may want to keep that Daring Escape. No, I don't think I do. We'll use Star-Lord's discount, plus assess the situation for Beast. Grab a resource card. Go 1, 2, 3 for Gamora. Deal 2 damage, discard to find an event. Then we can use that for regroup. Thwart for 2, thwart for 2, then draw 6. 2 threat, 1 attack, which will go on Maria Hill. Back to the hand she goes. 2 encounter cards. Under Fire, Hydra Hunter and Hydra Soldier. Caught Off Guard, that we can get rid of regroup. I don't think we're going to need it anymore. Taskmaster's Sword. Okay. So we can go Gamora for 2, discard to find an event. Beast for 2, deal an encounter card. Welcome Aboard and Energy for Nick Fury, and we'll draw 3. We'll use Star-Lord's discount. No, I'm not going to use Star-Lord's discount. Well, we might. Let's go. How much damage could I actually do here? Could do a lot. I don't think I can kill him. No, definitely not. So let's go Element Gun with rapid response and kill the Hydra Hunter. Let's go 2 damage. Thwart for 2. Captain Marvel. We're going to discard Beast, I think. And discard... No, this isn't a good Captain Marvel turn because... the problem is that there's only 1 card left in my deck. I think we'll go for a kill next round. So here we're just going to go 1, 2, 3 for sliding shot and deal 7. So I was going to deal an encounter card for Star-Lord's discount, but I decided not to. And then we'll play Assess the Situation twice for +2 hand size. And we get +1 from Star-Lord's helmet. So that's 4. Actually, now we get +2 because we cycled through the deck part way. So 2 for Star-Lord's helmet, and then +2 for Assess the Situation. Should be 9 total. Star-Lord's helmet says you get +1 hand size for each face-down encounter card to a maximum of +3 hand size. I have no reason to believe that that caps the Assess the Situation hand size. I doubt there's been an official ruling on that, but I think it means you can only... I interpret this to mean you can only get +3 from the encounter cards, but then you can get plus additional from Assess the Situation. I know that it's different with Iron Man. But anyway, that's how we're going to play that. So next round I'm going to go for the kill, I think. So we got 2 threat, assuming I live. Nick Fury will tank the attack. 2 encounter cards. We've got Mimicry, discard the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no attacks. Gang up, that attack will go on Beast. Captured by Hydra number 2. And Hydra sidearm. So, can we do the 4 plus the, how much is on phase 3? 17? Well, first things first, we can go 1, 2 and discard until we find an event. 1, 2, that'll put him into phase 3 and deal an encounter card. Then we can go Star-Lord's discount plus Genius for Captain Marvel. Discard 4, see what damage we get. There's 2 lightning resources, so we get 1, 2, 3 and a stun. One, 2, 3. Jet boots for element gun. Oh yeah, this isn't even going to be difficult. 1, 2, 3 for sliding shot for 9. We didn't even need daring escape. No problem. So that's the ideal with Star-Lord, is to get set up and then OTK phase 3. And by get set up, I mean build a huge hand with either regroup, assess the situation, and or Star-Lord's helmet. Because then you usually have the resources for big plays, like Captain Marvel did 6 damage, we had daring escapes and card draw cycles for multiple sliding shot turns. So yeah, assess the situation and regroup are really important to this deck, to building those huge OTK turns, and it's a lot of fun to play that way too. This hero is incredibly strong. Far stronger than I ever imagined when I was doing my card review, though I think I did mention in the card review that he had huge combo potential and a very high skill ceiling. Anyway, we're going to move on now, and we're going to take on Ronan on expert difficulty, the hardest boss in the game, and see how Star-Lord does there. Here we go, with Star-Lord versus Ronan the Accuser on expert difficulty, the most difficult boss in the game in my opinion, and a boss that if you can beat, then probably you're looking at a hero and a deck that can take on any scenario on expert difficulty in the game, and that is a very elite club. So we will go ahead and get our element gun. And nearly always on Ronan I'm going to use Star-Lord to thwart and get rid of cut the power. So we're getting out Kalu. We'll go fetch an event, which will be assess the situation because there isn't another one. The more I play that card, the more I like it. I think that is a really, really overlooked card. It's really good. Really good for combo decks in particular, and I love combo decks. I love combo decks in every card game I've ever played. Universal Weapon can be a benefit to Star-Lord if you take the encounter card at the right time. So we'll get the toughness off of Ronan. And Star-Lord doesn't really rely on stuns, so I think it's generally okay to leave the Universal Weapon on Ronan until the right time. So I'm getting out the Element Gun. I'm going to use and assess the situation to fire the Element Gun, and then I'm going to play the other one so that I get a hand of 6 this round. And I'll use the Milano to thwart. There's Star-Lord's helmet. That's a great card to get early. So Ronan is going to attack Kalu. And then 2 encounter cards. We are an expert. We still get 2 because of Kree command ships. We got Superior Tactics. That's going to attach the Power Stone to Ronan. And Fanaticism. And that's probably a loss. Fanaticism is one of those cards that if it comes out early, you just lose. That's a tough card. So we get our Rocket Raccoon using Star-Lord's discount, Element Gun, Star-Lord's helmet, and we'll clear out some of the board, but we're going to take a lot of damage here because of Fanaticism, Universal Weapon, and the Power Stone. We do get to draw a hand of 6. It's relatively easy to take the Power Stone back from Ronan with the Element Gun, which is good. So, big attack there. And drop Star-Lord to 3. We got Exhaustion, Single-Minded Fury. He can't attack anybody because he has the Power Stone. Another Single-Minded Fury. That card attacks the player who has the Power Stone. Then there's Gang Up. And that's going to be a card I want to cancel. Kree Lieutenant. And Shadow of the Past. And that is going to end this attempt. At least I think it will. I mean, I could have legitimately just conceded and restarted when I got Fanaticism early. Mr. Knife is a very tough nemesis. Still not quite as tough as the 4 symbiotes or like Phoenix's nemesis, but he's up there. He's among the hardest. So we're gonna play White Tiger using Star-Lord's discount. I really know why. I really don't know why I haven't conceded yet at this point. Get out Nick Fury and draw 3. Regroup. Really need to take out Mr. Knife. We got extra resources and we got Element Gun. So I use an element gun and rocket to take out the lieutenant. And just leave Mr. Knife. You can't really leave Mr. Knife though, because yeah, at that point I think, okay, I'm just gonna concede. This is silly. So we get set up and we try it again. I could have done that earlier. I don't know what I was thinking. Sometimes you get stubborn, I guess. So grab the element gun for the setup. And we'll get rid of cut the power, +1 thwart thanks to the power stone. Welcome aboard and Star-Lord's discount will get out Captain Marvel. That's an ally that I'm liking more and more. That's a very strong ally. Especially in a deck like Star-Lord, because she can typically provide 6 damage on the turn that she comes into play. And she's a great value play with rapid response. So I used her 3 damage from the lightning card to remove her toughness. I got 2 of them, so I could have stunned her if I'd taken the universal weapon. Or I could have stunned him if I'd taken the universal weapon off first, but I didn't. And so no stun, because the universal weapon gives him stalwart. But we will get out the element gun and fire it. And so not a bad first turn. Draw 5. The attack's going to need to go on Star-Lord, which means the Power Stone is going to change hands. Six damage. He can really only take 1 attack to the face before he's done. And we got 2 encounter cards. Gang Up we're going to cancel with the text of the Kree command ship, which lets you exhaust the Milano and spend a resource to cancel a treachery. Then we got a Kree Commando, and then we got Kree Physiology for a toughness card and another counter card. Since it surges, we got a Hull Breach. I don't have 2 science resources, and I can't exhaust the Milano, so I have to take 3 damage. Then we'll use Welcome Aboard to get out Maria Hill. Can't use 2 Welcome Aboards in the same round. But it's not going to matter in this particular game. Welcome Aboard is very strong. The restriction of once per round really doesn't come up that often. So we're going to fire the element gun using Assess the Situation, which has piercing, so it goes through the toughness. And I'm just rethinking how I'm going to use each attack in order to use the damage most efficiently, and hopefully enter this next round with as little threat on the main scheme as possible, because I plan to flip to Alter Ego. So we did take control of the Power Stone when I fired the element gun, and that means Star-Lord's attack should have dealt 1 additional damage. So you take control of this Power Stone with 3 or more damage. So Ronan's going to scheme, and he gets the Power Stone back, so his scheme's going to be for 4. And then the Kree Commando will move the scheme into phase 2, so Ronan gets a boost card. And then we got 2 encounter cards coming, and we got Master Plan, which I'm going to cancel with the Milano and a resource. And Under Fire, which is 2 more encounter cards. Fanaticism, that's likely going to end this attempt. You stand accused, can't cancel it, already canceled 1, which means a scheme for 1, 2, well, a lot. Gets +1, and then 1 more encounter card, and that's going to be a second scheme, and that will end the game. So a single flip to Alter Ego, and we lose, but you can never count on a 3 scheme round. That's rough. And that's why I wasn't bothered about the double welcome aboard mistake. So, attempt number 3. We'll mulligan a couple of cards and draw 3, and then grab a copy of the element gun. Power Stone. Assisted Thwart will take care of the side scheme as usual. And we'll go Gamora. Use her to remove the toughness and go look for an event. Okay. And we can go 1, 2, 3 for element gun. Fire it for 3 and play assess the situation for +1 hand size. And draw 6. So 2 threat and attack for Ronan. That'll go on Star-Lord, which means he's going to get the Power Stone. And 2 encounter cards. Kree Private with Quick Strike, going to deal 1 damage. And Single-Minded Fury. He has the Power Stone already, so that surges. Kree Combat Armor. Reduce the amount of damage attached character takes from each attack by 1. Until you spend 3 resources of the same type. Well, we can welcome aboard to get out Nick Fury here and draw 3. So there I should have needed to discard Rocket Raccoon as well, because welcome aboard can only work once per round. So either discard Rocket Raccoon or use the Milano. Either way isn't really going to have an impact on the game. In this case, because I did have the Milano available, so there'd be so I used Rocket Raccoon and the extra resource to discard. And then I think I realized at that point that I couldn't welcome aboard twice, which is why I used the Milano there. So that resolves that. But I used Rocket and the Genius for 3 resources of the same type to get rid of the Kree Combat Armor. And then we're able to get down Ronan to 5 HP in 1 round, which is really solid. And we've got Pincher Maneuver and You Stand Accused, which we can cancel with the Milano and a resource. And it's time to start thinking about setting up an OTK. This game has started out very strong. So we just use strength and numbers to cycle. We exhaust Gamora and draw 1 card. We get out Ironheart and with a welcome aboard and draw 1 card. And probably going to use Sliding Shot to pay for Star-Lord's helmet. We'll put Ronan into phase 3. He has Retaliate now, which is going to make things tricky. Fire the element gun, which will get rid of the toughness. Trying to set up an OTK basically for next round. We'll have Star-Lord's helmet. We'll have Regroup. Though I'm going to use Regroup here. And so here I realize the Power Stone should be attached to Ronan because of the side quest that doesn't impact anything so far. And we'll go ahead and fire the element gun using the Regroup, which takes 1 damage for the Retaliate. Not sure why I exhausted Ironheart there. I don't know if I forgot about... Did I remove a threat? I think I thought I needed to remove the toughness from Ronan with Ironheart, but if I'd done that, Ironheart would have died because of the Retaliate. But you don't have to because the element gun had piercing, so... I don't know what I was thinking there, but that's not going to impact anything. Probably just could have removed an additional threat from the side scheme or something. But anyway, we're an alter ego, so we're going to advance to phase 2 and Ronan schemes. And then we got 2 encounter cards coming. Kree Commando and Cannonade. So it appears to me that I have the resources to kill Ronan here, but it's complicated. So what I need to do is I need to heal with Peter Quill to start and recover 3 so that I have the ability to withstand retaliates. I don't realize that right away, but I do realize it eventually. But apart from that, this turn should go pretty smoothly. 22 damage is definitely doable given this board. And given that I have a daring escape, a sliding shot, and no guard minions in play, I should just be able to OTK Ronan here. But the timing is going to be important. So I should have healed with Star-Lord. I realize that in a bit, but for now, we'll consider Star-Lord exhausted, but with 4 HP. And then that attack would put him down to, or he wouldn't attack there, Ronan would be +2. But like I said, I end up having way more damage than I need, and I do realize, oh, I should have healed at the beginning, eventually. And we use Star-Lord's discount, and well, first we're going to have to attack with Gamora to clear an ally slot, and go look for an event. Another daring escape, that really just is overkill. So I used Star-Lord's discount and energy for Captain Marvel. Discard 4. I only have 2 in the deck. That's going to deal 3 damage and get me an additional encounter card for more sliding shot power. Can deal 3 with Captain Marvel, and now I'm realizing, oh, I have actually way more damage than I need. And I'm going to deal 2 damage and take an encounter card to get rid of the universal weapon, which kills Captain Marvel. I should shuffle the universal weapon into the deck. And that would drop Star-Lord down to 2, but at this point I could just sliding shot. So I realize at some point that I need to rewind, make sure I could have healed Star-Lord at the beginning, and I realize, oh yeah, I have way more damage than I need. Healing Star-Lord would only take away 2 damage, and I had way more than 2. So there's no issue with that at all. All I needed to change was to heal at the beginning of the round, and then I had enough damage to withstand the retaliates. And since I killed him by a lot more than 2, that is no problem. And then I also had the element gun as well if I needed it. So that's Ronan the Accuser on expert difficulty. I think this demonstrates that Star-Lord is one of the best heroes in the game. And we're gonna keep going with Star-Lord, but not in this video. This is just part 1 of the gameplay. When I've got a hero like this, when I find one who can take on all the content, we're gonna really show what he can do. We'll play against Venom Goblin, we'll play against Magneto on expert, and see if he can take those on. We'll play against more Heroic 1 quests with Star-Lord. And we'll take one more look at the deck. This is a very strong deck. It's superior to the deck that I used in my first Star-Lord Spotlight video. Because of rapid response and assess the situation, they work very well with combo decks because they enable him, combined with his helmet, to build up a huge hand and then get these double sliding shot OTK turns on phase 3, which are capable of taking on nearly any boss in the game on phase 3. And since almost any hero can down phase 2, and Star-Lord's no exception, he has no trouble downing phase 2, just using allies and damage in general, and then OTK phase 3, which you can do, I don't know, a half or third of the time. It means he can take on any scenario in the game with the right deck, and I believe that these games, especially the Ronan game, demonstrate that this is the right deck for Star-Lord. I'm not saying it's the best deck in the game for Star-Lord, but it's up there. It's really, really good. It's really, really good. Strength in numbers, assess the situation, and regroup are very strong additions to the deck because of the big turns that they allow. So lots more to come from this Star-Lord Spotlight. Any hero that I feel is capable of taking on Ronan the Accuser and winning is going to get an extended hero Spotlight where we provide a lot of gameplay for him to really make a strong case for the top S tier or S plus label for the hero, which is my assessment of Star-Lord. He is going to be in the top 5 heroes in the game without question. He may be in the top 3. He may even be able to challenge Spider-Ham and make a case for best hero in the game for solo play. So, thank you for watching.